along with Finn Fenderson. We down one, but we still gonna keep this show rolling. In the midst of all the madness, in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the turmoil, I'm still saying roll tide, and we still here. What's up, Finn? How you doing?
Mm, Good. Seeing the rankings. Not the rankings. The playoffs reveal. I'm kind of shocked about it. To be honest,
Yeah. So what made what? So what's your first take on the playoff bracket? Like, how are you feeling about? Do you think there was any snubs? Do you think the committee got it right? Like, what you feeling?
I think they got it right, but the teams were right, but as far as the order, for example, even though Bama lost to Georgia by 21, you still got them at you still got them at 9. I
Hmm.
mean, you don't even though you don't want to punish them, but you still punish BYU for losing to the same team twice. Now I get that they lost to them twice. I don't think the first time they didn't get. Did they get blown out the first time?
The first game final score was 29-7, and they turned the ball over three times in that game. This time around, it was 34-7, and they turned the ball over four times. I actually sat and watched that game before the SC championship.
So
Yes,
they actually got worse the second
yeah.
game.
It
Okay,
pretty much
got
was this. It pretty much was the same game both times. A lot of people want to say BYU got snubbed because it got punished for playing the championship game while Alabama didn't. But when you add layers of context to it, they lost to the same team twice in blowout fashion. So that's pretty much how you can kind of eliminate BYU. Notre Dame, all personal feelings towards Notre Dame aside, your two biggest games of to start the campaign this year, you lost.
it.
Granted, you lost some close games, but you started the season off 0-2, and then like you really didn't play anybody honestly down the stretch of games. You played USC, but USC's final record may have been what 8-4 or 9-3 maybe, and you played Pitt, but Miami also the team that y'all lost to also boat race Pitt as well. So like wins against common opponents, it doesn't really stack up. And also, USC is the same team that went on the road and lost to Illinois in walk off fashion. So that doesn't kind of help your case when it comes to that in Notre Dame's regard. So you look at teams like Vanderbilt and teams like Texas, you can also make a case for them as well because Texas went on the road to Ohio State to open the season up. They lost 14-7. That, like I said, that's just one of those games that somebody had to lose. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Oklahoma, whom's in the playoff as well. And they're worse. But what helped? Excuse me.
They lost to
What really
Florida.
happened to Texas this year is basically what happened to Alabama last year. You went on. You lost a game against a struggling Florida. The final score was 29-22, but the play on the field doesn't determine what that final score looked like. And then you went out there, Georgia just ran all across your face, and you lost that game 35-10. So it's just like y'all basically was in the same boat as Alabama last year. So that's kind of why I can see why Texas is not in there. But Texas has I guess you could say some like better metrics than some of these teams that are in the field. And then a team like Vandy, your only two losses are on the road. One against obviously a team that's in the playoffs, as in the Bama Crimson Tide. And needless to say, if you didn't turn the ball over in that game, see how that game could have went. And then you were down versus Texas, but you fought your way back into that game and you lost 34-31. Now, the wins that they had, they went and beat Tennessee by 3 touchdowns on the road. They beat LSU at home, but this LSU was still ranked, but this was before they fired their coach. And they actually beat Alabama by a larger, not Alabama, I'm sorry, South Carolina by a larger margin of victory than Alabama
Uh,
did
they
on the
didn't
road.
have sellers. They didn't have sellers though.
They didn't, but
They did
I
not
think
have
they
sellers.
probably, I think they would have won that game. I don't think they would have won it 31-7, but I think they would have won that game comfortably with
It would have been
with
closer.
uh with Sellers in there. Still think they probably would have won that game by 2 touchdowns, honestly, given how South Carolina's season has been. So yeah, Vanderbilt just maybe if one of those two games worked out in your favor, obviously if it worked out them beating Bama, then Bama wouldn't even be in the situation that they in right now. So there's that. But maybe that Texas game because they, like I said, they were onside kick away from possibly getting the ball back and going down to score a winning touchdown. So maybe that Texas win, which I predicted they could possibly win that game, we're looking at a different outcome. But I think even then, I think Vanderbilt probably would have been one of those teams on the outside looking in as far as the playoff committee. Now, as far as the teams that did make the field, what is your biggest surprise and where the teams landed? Obviously, the two G5 teams,
That
nobody
was
expected that.
given.
But
Yeah.
what about Miami getting in? How do you feel about Miami getting in?
Now I was surprised about that because Miami has what 2 bad losses. Then they put them at 10.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised about Miami. But granted, they did beat Notre Dame, which put them over them. So I was very surprised by that one. Well, my biggest thing that I was surprised that is when they put Bama at 9, then they put Miami at 10. Then you had so I was like, okay, if Bama didn't get punished for losing to Georgia, then I looked at it, you should have kept BYU in because that was a championship. Regardless if they lost or not, if you're not gonna punish a team for the championship, then you
Hmm.
should have kept, what I'm saying, BYU in. So with what the committee was stating, they can be hypocritical at times because you're
Oh, most
saying
definitely, most
the
definitely.
championship shouldn't hurt you, but BYU left out. Now I understand they lost to the same team twice, but there's also a top ranked team that they lost to twice. So ideally, that one I'm still kind of. I'm a diehard Bama fan, but if
All
you
bias
come on now,
aside, yeah.
if you gonna keep Bama in and they lost by 21, BYU should be at that 10. But hey, that's why they got them in the room and not me. But I
Yeah,
would have
I
put
mean,
BYU
it's
at
always,
that.
but to think about it, it's always gonna be a tough decision that has to be made. So it's just like
Now,
if
also, what I also tell people when it comes to the playoffs, the records and who they lost to and stuff, all that matter up until that final day. Uh, just looking at these teams outside of the group of five, the one thing that all these teams have in common, which I don't really know about Texas Tech, their fan base is gonna travel.
yes,
So
I mean,
when
yeah,
it
they
comes
they
to
had the advantage. They had the advantage in that game yesterday, and we obviously saw it because
so
they're not that far away compared to
yeah,
BYU, who's in Utah.
yeah. So when it comes to the playoff, yeah, all the strength of schedule, who you beat, all this fine and dandy, but when it comes to really picking those 10 to 12 teams, we already know it's about money.
Oh
So
yeah,
and
most
then
definitely.
perfect example. You left Alabama at 9, you put Georgia at 3. Bama is in a different bracket than Georgia. Who's to say that there won't be a trilogy of Bama and Georgia in the championship? Then you got Ohio State and Indiana, both in separate brackets.
Hmm.
Who's to say you won't have another rematch? Then you got 5 SEC teams in the bracket. Who's to say that there won't be 2 SEC teams in the championship? So also, like I said, we can look at the strength of schedule and all that. But if you really know NCAA football, at the end of the day, it's about viewings and
The
money.
brand and who
Yeah,
are the biggest brands, especially when it comes to the college football playoffs and the two G5s. Is basically
yeah,
like the throwback BCS days without having, how we used to see TCU, Boise State, and Utah battle it out. Kind of the reason we shifted into the 14 playoff era, even just for those very sad teams to still get left out until Cincinnati got put in 2021, and we see how that game went down. Granted, they had an undefeated regular season, deservedly so needed to be there, but sometimes play on the field will show you why certain teams shouldn't be in certain spots. But I think with the 12 teams and the group of five, you give G5 teams something to play for though. So like versus they won their conference and now they just go to some random bowl game and beat up on a maybe a 6-16 from a smaller G5 conference. Now these guys can give themselves a fighting chance to go into one of these hostile environments like James Madison going across the country to play Oregon. Tulane, however, has played Ole Miss, but Lane
Now
Kiffin is not there this time around. But
that's gonna be interesting.
Ole Miss beat them 45-10 in the first game. They didn't even get 300 yards of offense. So, but it's like you said, it still will be interesting to see how this is going to be played the second time around compared to the first time. Because every game is different. Alabama went into Athens and beat them by had a nice lead, couldn't score in the second half, won that game 24-21. We turned around the SC championship game. It looked like, hey, Georgia was just ready that day, and Alabama had their worst day and Georgia had their best day, but now here we are. Everybody is 0-0, so it's just like this field is wide open. I don't really think there's no clear cut. Maybe if Ohio State and Indiana, one of those two teams would have dominated the other, then maybe we could say, yeah, this team is the best team in college football. But as we see, I said this midseason, I don't think there's really no clear cut team that's head and shoulders above other teams out here in college football, especially in this 12-team field, because you can make a case for even Oklahoma with a struggling offense, their defense can carry them to a championship. Yeah, so you can just make a case for maybe except for the two G5 teams because that's about it. But like I said, you never know what happens, so you just get hot at the right time. And then like with Georgia look like a totally different team as far as I ain't gonna say offense, but as far as the defense goes. Offense is still kind of the same. Mike Bobo dialing up his screen passes. That ain't never changed. But, as far as that defense, they grew up as far as the season went. And now we saw how that yesterday. So, but I really ain't going to make no predictions yet. It's still kind of early, but it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, but.
Now, in your opinion, out of that first weekend, what's the game to watch? I already got it in mind. Let's see if we taking the same thing.
Oklahoma and Alabama. I'm gonna go Texas A&M and Miami.
That's the game I had. That's gonna be a very interesting
game. Carson Beck, struggled against SEC opponents at times. He also struggled some this season versus Louisville. I want to say do 3 or 4 picks. Yeah, SMU, they lost that game. I don't know his stats from that game, but I know, like I said, saw that Louisville game on that Friday night. He didn't have his best showing, but they're here now. But yeah, I think Texas A&M and Miami is going to be one of those games to pay attention to.
That's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and then like your bonus for that is, hey, guess what? Now you got to go play Ohio State. And as far as Texas A&M, we seen what happened. Like they scheduled that they won all the games, and even that South Carolina game where they fell down 30-0, 30-3, came back and won that game. But now you run into Texas, your big brother, and you lose that game. Still a lock for the playoffs because of the incredible regular season you had. So obviously they were not going to miss the playoffs. But now, if you're going to win this game versus Miami, how are you going to fare versus Ohio State in a quarterfinal round? Look at situations like that. So all this makes for great football.
That's gonna be a good one too. Now, just looking at the bracket, once we get past the first round, from the quarterfinals to the national, matchup's gonna be interesting.
Yes.
Like I said, outside of Oklahoma and Alabama, and Miami and Texas A&M, that's gonna be a good. That's gonna be a good one. Now, out of the four ranked teams, the top 4 teams in the playoff, which ones do you see going home early?
The one I see going home early, because we saw last year every team that had a bye week got sent home packing. This year, I'm gonna go Texas Tech, because I think Oregon. I think it might be a close game for maybe 3 quarters, and Oregon pulls away versus James Madison. But I think they're They win that game and they go on and play Texas Tech, and I think they beat them. Indiana is. I can also see Indiana as well, especially like if
Which,
Oklahoma goes on to beat Alabama again. With
whichever two win that game, they gonna yeah.
yeah, so
Cause
because
cause when I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you
When
good,
I
good.
seen both Indiana and Ohio State play, I said, well, first of all, I started thinking about the SEC. SEC is two things: physical, fast. Now, what the SEC is also adapted, it's not back in the day where we just line up, run the ball. Georgia probably the only team in the SEC who still is.
Yeah, they
I'm not
got
gonna
they
say
got the
stuck,
vintage.
but they still have that vintage SEC style of play.
Yeah,
They gonna
I
line up
agree.
hard nose, run at you. You have
Yeah,
Oklahoma and Alabama who have skill players that can move. Now, Indiana is very disciplined. And you know, in the Big Ten, I mean, whatever conference they in, they don't see speed like that on the regular. So
no,
you got physicality and speed lining up against you on a neutral site. That's that's gonna be tough. Whoever they play, the Oklahoma, Alabama,
yeah,
I
they
got a feeling that they gonna get
and
exposed.
you playing in the on the West Coast in the Rose
Yeah,
Bowl with like it ain't gonna be like no cold weather environment or nothing like
yeah,
that because we moving on
it's
to like the New Year's
yeah,
Six bowl games. So yeah, that also is a great element. It, like you won't have the weather to factor. I mean, it might be like the
that's
mid 50s to 60s, but that's not the 20s or 30s or below, something like that. So yeah, but yeah,
and you can say the same thing for Ohio State. Have you seen it? You seen Texas. You caught Texas at the right time. But now that you got Texas and Miami, teams that are fast and physical, how you gonna respond? Because you
hmm
hadn't seen that all year up until you play Indiana. So now those two teams, you finna get a taste of how the boys play football in the South.
yeah,
So those are the two teams that it's gonna be tough for them.
yeah.
Now, granted,
Even
they are good teams, but the SEC football it hit different.
even the Georgia, like they would have to play Ole Miss
Yeah,
again, and Ole Miss kind of squandered their game away versus Georgia in Athens. So I'll keep moving. The camera keep moving because I keep resetting my MacBook. But yeah, even the Ole Miss, like I just go back and watch the tape. Like they kind of in the fourth quarter, they didn't put up many yards. Like what can we do to replicate what we did the first 3 quarters of the first matchup potentially, and then be able to execute for a whole 4 quarters of that game. So like I said, yeah, the teams like the question going into this is honestly, would you rather be playing in the opening round or would you rather have rest? Because if you get a repeat of what happened last year, when you get all 4 teams that had a bye week, they get sent home, then the answer is going to be like, hey man, I'd rather, I mean, you get in where you fit in at the same time, but it's looking like, man, I'd rather have that one game because what today is the Sunday, December 7th. The opening round
fifth,
is basically 2 weeks.
fifth,
It's 2 weeks from now.
seventh, look at that.
Yeah, you get like 2 weeks from now. Now those teams that are on a bye week, they won't be playing for another 4 weeks. So that's a
Until the
long layoff.
31st.
Yeah, that's a long layoff. Well, yeah, 3, 4. Yeah, so basically almost a month. So that's a pretty long layoff, especially if you're a team that's coming in hot. Now, if you're a team that's hurt, like even Alabama can take these kind of 2 weeks, especially since you already know the opponent you playing. This the what second game in? I guess the second game in a row now that you face the opponent. You're gonna be facing the same opponent again. So now you know who you playing. It kind of makes it easier to prepare because you
And
can really go look at tape from your game and see. Okay, we need to do this better. You know what I'm saying? So
and
yeah.
also with Alabama under Caleb DeBoer, if I'm not mistaken, coming off of bye weeks, that's usually when they have their best games. So you have round one that's on the 19th. If you beat Oklahoma, you don't have another game to January 1. So that's another bye week. Then you go in and play Indiana. And after that, you have a week, you go to the semifinals. And after that, you go to the national championship. So
Hmm.
with that, just knowing Bama's history, coming off of a bye week under the board, they're undefeated. So there's going to be something else to watch out for now that they get rest and they have time. And just in my opinion, since the boy's been at Alabama, he's done a heck of a job with preparing Bama off of a bye week to come in and play. So there's going to be something to actually look out for now that they have time and they can get some players back.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also come up with some more stuff offensively, get your weapons back, and implement more stuff as well as if you have to give more people playing time. Because right now you don't have the luxury to just keep playing the same people. Now
Yeah,
you
we
playing
get
for a
back. You know, what I'm saying, got the
championship.
following week that, and then yeah, that and like, oh yeah, we got next week. Like, nah, it's put up a shut up
You
time.
only
Now that's another thing too. Like Ryan Grubb
guaranteed one.
gotta go. Yeah, we on borrowed time pretty much now, but Ryan Grubb gotta like, hey, gotta kind of do a mini revamp going into the going into this postseason. Like, hey man, like, hey, what you call? Like I said, I even said like you really been the same play caller since week one. It's just a lot of teams didn't start catching on to what to do until later in the season, and that's when you seen all the offensive, like the point totals, the numbers started dropping a little bit. So that's that. So like then like as far as like the
To be
defenses dropping 8 in coverage and knowing we still can't run the ball when you drop 8 in coverage, that's bad. -3 rushing yards is Alabama football.
honest,
That's bad, man. Like so, it's a lot of work that needs to be done
to,
offensively.
to be to be honest, the offense can work. I think is just watching the game yesterday. It's the plays that he's calling. So for instance,
Mm-hmm.
let's just say it's first down. First down, he'll get 3 yards. Second down, it's 6. He'll get let's just say 4 or 5 yards. So now it's 4th and 2. 4th and 2. Instead of running it, you run a pass play, which is, in my opinion, 50-50. You running
Yeah.
a swing, not swing, a flat route with the running back. Why don't you just run it? Because
You
he
can't get
did
no
that
push up front.
multiple times. Just run it. I would rather take my chances having to go man for man, 4th and 1, taking my chances with my quarterback or running back,
Mm-hmm.
height, leaning forward for that 1 yard versus being in the shotgun. He go on the flat route with a running back. He evidently struggles with catching the ball out of the backfield. I would rather lose struggling to get that 1 yard and throwing it, and everybody looking like,
Yeah.
what he doing? I can
Another
live with that.
thing too is another thing too. You see, like I said, I talk about Mike Bobo being a screen merchant, but that stuff was working because guess what? You getting 5-6 yards off these little short screen like. In that, you got to keep the defense honest with that. We not calling because like if they
And
doing
to
it,
be
what they
honest,
doing, you not attack the perimeter. You're supposed to attack the perimeter to
mm,
soften up the coverage a little bit. Yeah, that's what like you see what happened when Ryan
if you
Williams.
if you
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
when you have to you got 4 receivers that they touch the ball, they can take the
Hmm.
distance. Give them some quick screen.
Yeah, we
It's
seen
there.
what
If they
Germ did. The
blitz at
only
8,
touchdown we scored. You seen what Germ did. Yeah. So it's just like,
and like
and
you
hey,
say,
for some reason, hey, your sound keep. I don't know what's going on. Your sound
hey,
keep going in and out. Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
the O line.
See, that's another thing too. We was out here playing. We went the whole year like playing musical chairs with the offensive line. You can't do that, man. Like you gotta whoever you might run a 7-man rotation as far as your offensive line, but it seemed like we probably running, it's 5 up front. We probably almost running 10, 8 or 9. Like, nah, you need to find that one guy that can play all positions on the line, and then another guy. All right, basically, well, your two, if you're running 5, you need your 5 main guys, and then you need to find the 2 that can we could plug and play them anywhere on any parts of the line. We could put them at, we could swing them around the guard or swing them at tackle, possibly even put them at center like the old days we had with the Barrett Joneses and William Vlahos and Ryan Kelly. Them type of guys that can play anywhere on the offensive line. So that's another thing that we was kind of missing. But yeah,
Yeah. And also we need Quavers. That's
oh
just
most
point blank
definitely.
period.
And Quavers had himself a
Majority of
game
those
versus Alabama
passes
last time.
that was going to those tight ends in the third and shorts, that's who Ty was looking for, which is another reason why he's uncomfortable. Because we go back and just look at the previous games, third down and four. Okay, I don't have Bernard, I ain't got Williams, I ain't got Ford. Oh, they go Quavers. Let me just toss it to him. He catch it. It take to get a first down. Now that he don't have Quavers,
Yeah, it kind of yeah, you
it's
kind of
kind
take
of
away your
tough.
money player. Yeah, on third, especially yeah, like
Yeah,
you said, on third and short situation, take away your money player. So yeah, that is big. But like I said, his injury, like you'll be sidelined for about 2 to 3 weeks, no longer than a month. So like and like I said, he didn't play. If I'm not mistaken, versus Eastern Illinois, the Iron Bowl. So he's basically missed the
he
last
didn't
three
play against
games.
Illinois or Iron.
Yeah, so like he should be back
So
in 2 more weeks.
I think if he comes back, that'll give Ty some confidence.
Yeah, a little bit
Because
because now
now
you know
you
you
have
got your
that
guy.
outlet where
You
we
got your
just need
guy.
4 or 5 yards. Toss it to him.
Yeah, that's another. We need
So
some. Yes, that's what. Sometimes you do. I know you. You know you do need to make it a little bit easier your quarterback. Because sometimes like, hey man, we gotta. You gotta Tom Brady this thing down the field where we hitting this guy, we checking it down right here, checking it down right there. Then so be it. And then like, hey, if we gotta live, we getting 3, 4, 5 yards of play just to win a game. So be it. Like, and then we gotta, what I'm saying, make the defense. But the thing about it too is like you gotta have somewhat of a run game to even, to pull some of that off. That's the thing too. If we can
and
get
the thing that
some of a run game, be all right.
and the thing that I was going to talk about then, now that we've gotten through the SEC stuff, we in the playoff, we need to evaluate who's going to be the guy running back in case Jam can't go. If Jam can't go, who can we trust to step up?
You think
Now I
I
want to
got a
know
question.
what
You think a guy can have a Bo Scarborough wave, like how he came in that playoff game versus Washington, carried the team pretty much, and then the Clemson game was still carrying the team before he went down. Do you think a running back can do that as far as get hot and then just
who 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 could be that running back? Because
um
we hadn't seen Richard Young since when Florida State.
basically
So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
just hey sometimes you just get lost in the shuffle like a Jalen Hale or Jalen Mbakwe, them guys like that. You just get lost in the
And
shuffle, man.
so hopefully, if we can get Riley, or even give, or even prepare Deer to be the feature back, and I think
Yes.
that's another thing too. With Jam going out and Deer not having many reps, you can't just necessarily force him to say, "Hey, you need to be the guy." You can't do that because you're only gonna have what, a few days to practice. So
Mm-hmm.
now that you have 12 days, possibly, well, it's gonna be 2 weeks. Now you can take time, Jam still out. You can have him get more reps, repetition, get comfortable. So now in that situation, if there's a situation in the game where Hill does go down, okay, we've been working with him with the ones, we've implemented them. Now let's let him go out there and play. Because you also see on yesterday when Hill went out, they brought Deer in for a few plays, then they brought Hill back in. That's
Yeah.
just basically saying, well, he hasn't had enough reps, so Daniel, you got to go in. We understand that you're tired, but we got a freshman. He don't really know.
Yeah, but see,
So
but that falls on that kind of I get it, but that kind
yeah,
of falls on coaching as well. Like you gotta get these guys ready to play.
you
Like we've
already knew
been
this
we've
was
been
happening.
asking kind of yeah
Yeah,
we've been kind of asking for where's AKD at pretty much for the whole season after we seen what he did versus Louisiana Monroe. So it's kind of like hey, where my guy at? Where AKD at? So You know, so if you would have able to get him some type of reps throughout the course of the season, a lot of this stuff could have been avoidable. You know, maybe AK Deer can be the guy that can turn a play that looked like it was only about to get 5, 6 yards. The next thing you know, he's still running down the sideline. You know what I'm saying? And then Daniel Hill, he's
And
just
then
too big to be like not as physical as
yeah,
he should be.
yeah.
Like Daniel Hill should be turning some of these 3 yard runs. These should be 6 and 7 yard runs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Do
his
you
best game, I want to say
do you
versus
think that
Oklahoma. Is that what?
it was Oklahoma? Do you think that he's too heavy? Because the
Top
reason why I
heavy? You
say
think he
that,
top
you look
heavy?
at him. Because the reason why I say that, if you look at Derrick Henry and you look at him, it's pretty much the same build. But I think the difference is the hand is all muscle, where heel is kind of mixture of muscle and just his
Yeah,
natural, you know what I'm saying? His natural body something.
yeah.
So I'm not sure what B Hen weighed in when he was at Bama, but
I think
by
he
them
was.
having a
I
similar
think he was closer
build,
to
B
two
Hen looked
fifty. I
much
think he was
faster.
closer. And he was taller, but I think he was closer to. I think Dan here was closer to
Yeah,
250. Yeah, I want to say like
and
two
he was
forty
moving.
five.
So I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out. I think that's just B Henry was just all muscle. I
just a
think they
natural,
gotta be it.
and then just a
He was just straight
natural.
muscle.
Lack of words, just a natural freak. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful using that now. But
Yeah. So
so they already put on the spreads in these games. Oregon is basically a 3 touchdown favorite. Ole Miss 17 point favorite. Texas A&M 5.5, and the spread Alabama Oklahoma 1.5.
it's just
I want to say Alabama was
now I
favored. It
wonder.
might be. A lot of this is gonna change obviously as we get closer, but yeah.
That's what I wonder if we get Quavis and Miller back as well as Overton and who else on the defense. We get them back. Does the spread change?
Yeah, Overton missed the last game. Yeah, Overton, he was definitely missed. I thought he wasn't gonna be missed as because you still got guys like Pierre and Rusaw came back. Roll Tide, Coach D. Shout out
The,
to you. You still had guys like
the
Rusall just
defense,
came back, but we missing
he
guys
came
like
back.
Beeman.
Yeah,
Beeman been the guy that's been out all season. Jeremiah
Demon been
Beeman,
out.
Latham been out pretty much all season. Um, I like
I
this. I
forgot
like
about
what I
that.
saw from Money Jackson yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Because he been kind of he
Now
fell
the
off.
defense, even though the offense was struggling, no lie, the defense kept it closer than
Yeah,
what
man.
it
It's
really
only so
supposed to
much.
be.
It's only so much a defense can do, man. When they
Yeah,
keep
there's
constantly
only
getting
so
on the
much they can
football
do.
field. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. You can't really get mad at the defense, man. But that's what I'm saying. We got that's
So
what's like.
to
You got to pay
so
this. You got to pay this
for
defense off, man.
yeah. So the fact that the offense struggled all night and they was on the field, I want to say at least 31 minutes, half the game, and you only allowed Georgia to score 28 points, in which three of those possessions you were basically in the red zone,
Yeah, they got great starting
and they
field position
scored and
because
they
of
were
their
in the red
defense.
zone at time. That
Yeah,
the defense,
credit to Georgia. Like all
they
hats off. Like I said, all hats off to Georgia,
they held
man.
their
Like
own. Yeah, not
yeah.
Georgia.
So it's just all
They
hats
just
off to Georgia.
capitalized. They
Yeah, that's
wanted
what you're
it.
supposed to do. That's anybody. Look what Oklahoma
And,
did. They couldn't do nothing on offense, but guess what? Anytime Alabama turned the ball over, they scored a pick six, or they had a big punt return, flipped the field.
for
So yeah, you take advantage of small stuff like that. Like that's why like field position is key now. Alabama, some of these drives were able to get 2, 3 first downs and still punt the ball and pin Georgia back like they was pinning Alabama back. Hell, the final score might have been 14-7. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all is it
exactly.
is.
It would have been close. Yeah,
Yeah, it is what it is now. Like, cause Alabama's in the tournament now. So, but I guess say hindsight 2020 now. But it's a whole different. Yeah, so it's a whole different. But like credit to UGA, man. So and then like Coach D typing in the chat, he was actually at the game, standing on the sideline. So he got a clearer field, a better view than what we saw. So, but yeah, man, hats off to Georgia.
who
But
is Coach B? Coach,
unofficial
who is
assistants, man.
Coach
I told you,
B?
man. I'm locked
I
in, man. I
can't.
told you. One of the unofficial assistants. I
I
told
can't.
you,
I
man.
can't see him. That's why I asked.
Oh, you can't see the chat?
Yeah,
I'll
I
pin
can't
his
see him.
message. I'll pin it. That
Yeah,
he
I
put
can't see
that.
it.
You can't see these messages.
Now looking at this, uh, now looking back at this Alabama and Oklahoma matchup,
Hmm.
what do you see happening differently? Of course, we all know that both of us want Alabama to win, but what do you see
I
differently in this matchup from
think
Alabama?
either Brent Venables kind of keeps everything the same because it worked. Like we forced what 3 turnovers, 2 turnovers, or they kind of try to. I don't want to say you try to come out in here and try to throw a mixed bag and throw your team off. So I want to say you keep everything the same. But the difference in that game, as we saw, was turnovers. It's just like the
Turnover.
Iron Bowl. We didn't have the best statistical game in the Iron Bowl, but Alabama forced turnovers and Auburn was dropping passes. So that's that. We basically Auburn pretty much. We could keep it 100. Auburn did much more in helping Alabama win that game. I mean, Alabama made the necessary plays when needed, 4th and 2, but a lot of those drives could have been extended for Auburn had the receivers just held onto the ball. But for this game, I think they're probably going to do the same, but what are they going to do offensively? Because that's been Oklahoma's Achilles heel all season, and the quarterback tried to come back less than 3 weeks post op with a thumb injury, something that you really can't do because like it messes with your throwing motion. But I don't think they really changed nothing. It's more what can we do to execute because we still put up 400 yards of offense, but what can we do not to set up
Yeah,
Oklahoma for success, basically? Help them win the game more than we did more in helping Oklahoma win a game more than Oklahoma did to help Oklahoma win
win
that
and
game.
lost.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's
So with
what you
this
feel about
matchup,
that?
with this matchup, I see defensively, Bama gonna still stick with the same routine. Just play a game how you played it last time. Because again, the defense didn't lose the game. It was the offense and the turnovers. Now, offensively, what I see differently, if you get Quavis, you get Miller back. I see them utilizing tight ends more. I see them utilizing the screen game. So you take Oklahoma out of that blitzing, and once you force Coach Venables to not play his game, which is load up the box, put pressure on the quarterback. Once you
Yeah,
force them to stop blitzing, then you open up the running game. So I would say, just from my view, force Oklahoma to slow down with the blitzing
gotcha.
defensively. So now they on their heels. Okay, what number they gonna
Yeah,
throw it, they gonna run it. And if you
keep
once
them
you
guessing. You
control the
basically say
line
keep
of
them guessing. Yeah,
scrimmage
yeah,
and
you
make
control.
them play your game, it's not
Yeah,
gonna
that's the name of the game, man. You
be
control the
close.
front.
Because
You control the game.
offensively
Look
with
at
Oklahoma, because with Oklahoma offensively, that's not changing because they don't have enough on offense. So
they don't have enough. Yeah,
if Bama's offense can get it together, the defense gonna get them there. The defense has gotten you to the playoff. So now,
yes, pretty much. Yeah.
offensively, can you assist the defense
Can you pay
with
off?
getting
Can
you
you
to
pay
the
them
first
off with
round,
sustained
quarterfinal, semifinal?
drives? Yeah, pay them
Can
off
you
with
pay them
sustained
off?
drives or getting into
Yeah,
the end zone, or getting into the end zone. Mainly getting into the end zone because there's been a lot of games where the drives have been sustained. The defense is off the field, they fresh, but like you get into the end zone while keeping the defense off the field at the same time. Obviously, you're gonna win by bigger margins. So that's really the key. Can we put points on the board while sustaining these drives? Whether it's obviously you're gonna want touchdowns. I mean, it's certain scenarios like let's say you up by 7 points with like 4 minutes left in the game. You run the clock. You run the clock. Now you kick a field goal. Now they get the ball back down 10 with a minute and a half, something like that. Obviously, something like that, and then just let the defense sit back in coverage and don't allow anything to go over the top of you. So in certain scenarios, you're gonna settle for three, but like you want to get into that end zone to kind of like increase your chances of winning and putting teams away early. That's been the biggest thing. Like really hadn't had a chance to just put teams
and,
away. Had a chance last week to put Auburn away before halftime, and we see how that went. So, but this is a shot at redemption, man. That's all I'm saying.
and
Like,
and you got a chance to get your legs back up under you.
mm,
Because in the regular season, you went 7 weeks You went through a 7-week gauntlet with, I want to say, did they have a bye week during that gauntlet?
They had a bye week after
They had one
South
before
Carolina.
LSU, right?
Yeah, they had a bye week after the South Carolina game.
Okay, after South Carolina. So you had that 6-week gauntlet. Then you play LSU, you play Oklahoma, then you play Auburn, then you play Georgia. You pretty much played everybody in the SEC with the exception of Texas A&M, Kentucky, and yeah. So now that you went through that gauntlet for the past 12 weeks, you get a break, you play Oklahoma. How you gonna
And
respond?
also,
Now you
too,
got a chance to
Oklahoma
get your
was
legs
coming off
back
a
under you.
bye
Got
as well.
yeah,
Oklahoma was coming off a bye when they played Alabama. So, too, you give
yeah,
Venables a little time. And guess what's happening now? And then Coach D just asked, do you guys think our
yeah,
offense can get back to what we saw earlier? Honestly, Coach D, if we want to keep it 100,
yeah,
I think the offense has been the same. It's just the defenses have tuned in. It's kind of like Hurts' first year as a starter. When they really figured out he can throw the ball, that's when we started seeing teams stack the box. So, and now we got a quarterback that can throw the ball, but we can't run the ball because we really don't get no push up front. Now we just dropping everybody back in coverage, running against these 3, 4 receiver sets. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So now we got to expect the quarterback to just
I,
drop
I think
dimes every time. But
I think they'll get back. And here's another thing that I told someone, and this was outside of the chat, well,
mm-hmm.
outside of the podcast, and it was actually at work. So we had a conversation about offense. I said, well, you do got to you also understand that I'm struggling, but you also got to look at this. Teams in the SEC seems like the whole SEC, including the bottom half, they were competing.
Yes.
And then you also got to look at it. This year, SEC is the best conference because you got 5 teams in the top 12. Out of them 5, 3 of them, in my opinion, have the best defense in the SEC. That's Oklahoma, Auburn, and Georgia. So if
Mm-hmm.
you getting the bottom half of the SEC's best, then you're going out and playing the best defenses in the SEC. Of course, the offense that's supposed to be putting up 40 and 50 points is going to look average because guess what? They got players on their team just like Bama got players.
Yes.
Then I also made the point of if Bama can make it out of the SEC and they can play other teams outside of the SEC, hence if they get past Oklahoma, Indiana, you're going to see a whole complete different team because now you don't have to go through that gauntlet of playing
Yeah, you don't
in
have
the
to. Yeah,
SEC or playing on the road. Now you get to see how they
it's
match
kind of like
up against other
it's
conferences.
basketball, but in similar because I like our basketball coach Nate Oates. He
Yeah,
schedules all these different all these known teams that can possibly make an Elite Eight, Final
yeah,
Four earlier in the season, and then when you get to the tournament, if you catch a hot streak, you beating teams
yeah,
by 20, 30 points in the tournament until you start
yeah,
facing them same blue bloods all over again, like when they played Duke. I mean, it happened. They had a bad shooting game, but like, yeah, it's
yeah,
kind
and
of the
that,
same thing. And
yeah,
then the SEC gauntlet in basketball is pretty. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's a pretty hefty gauntlet in basketball as well. But yeah, so
and,
to your point,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And that don't go just for Alabama. That goes for all SEC teams.
oh yeah,
Now
most definitely.
that you played the best of the best and you played your bottom half, who are some plays or even injuries away from beating the top teams.
Yeah,
Now let's see that we out of the SEC. Now it's tournament play. We playing against the ACC, the Big Ten, or Group of Five. Now let's see how we match up since we done beat up on each other as a conference all year. Now let's see how we do against these other teams,
you go out here. Yeah, you go out here. Now
which
it's
I
just
think
like
we haven't seen any of the SEC just yet. So
yeah.
that's the point that I reiterated.
Hold on,
We
I'm a
we
pin
won't
this
see it
one in
until we
the.
face off.
Hold on, hold up. Can you see this? I'm about to put this. Can you see that right there? What the?
Yeah,
Can you see that?
I can't see
You
it. That's
you
just
still
like
can't see it? Oh, you
that's
still
just
got
like
it.
when we were that's just like we was in high school. We had best no bet. They had times where the offense was horrible, the defense shined, And then every time for the defense look horrible and the offense shine. Like I don't think we that good. But then when we go out, run through the region, run through the state, it's like, oh, okay,
So what
maybe
you so basically what you like so kind of
we were just the best.
what you
Period.
alluding to is like against our familiar foes, it's not gonna look you're not gonna look as best, but we go out here and play all these other teams who pretty much been getting off and really not playing nobody. We go play these same teams, and now
Bingo.
it could possibly get put together. It'll be a complete game on all three sides, all three phases rather.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah, I can kind of
self-explanatory because I'm not mistaken. The SEC has the most ranked team, right?
yeah they got five in the
In the
field.
top
So
25,
yeah, and as far
if
as
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
and as far as that, and as
And
far
how
as
many
this,
they
yeah,
got
the
in the
extended
top
ranking.
25 total?
Shoot, I just saw Texas. They ranked
So
13th. You got
so yeah, you
Vanderbilt. So amongst that top 14, that's like what 7 teams
7.
already. Yeah, I don't know where Tennessee is at right
So
now.
half the SEC
But
is so yeah. So with that, yeah, of course, when you playing the best of the best in the conference, then you go out and play somebody, you're gonna look completely different. So that's
mhm.
how I see it. And just my experience of playing, that's usually how it goes. When you playing the best of the best, you're gonna look okay. You're not gonna look as good, but then you go out and face somebody else. Oh, okay. Yeah, they legit.
Yeah,
So that's how I
it
see
was
it.
just it's just yeah. So, but moving along as far as enough of Alabama. Like another we could kind of deep dive into like some of these other matchups. Like the Texas A&M Miami. I think they want a noon kickoff time. They just got announced. So live in College Station, a nice atmosphere for Carson Beck, Lambeau Beck, Austin Barnett's
Oh,
favorite quarterback. So how do you think
they in Texas.
that game will go? Yeah, that'll be Cal Field, and you know that play is gonna be rocking. So
Mhm. I
so
think
how do
Texas
we?
A&M will win, and I think the 12th man is going to play a big factor in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Carson Beck, he good for 1 or 2, and you know what I mean by that. He good
Oh
for an
yeah, oh, most
interception.
definitely. Oh, most definitely. You are. I'm already.
I think I think I think Texas A&M win. I think it's going to be close, but I think Carson Beck throws a late interception in Kyle Field that sends them home.
I'm a,
Yeah,
let me say
they
this.
got to go
Let me,
in.
let me say this is let me say this. But this is a sub branch of the bigger brand. So let me say this as far as reference of the podcast. Make sure y'all check that out as well. But I really hope all these games are close because one thing I don't want is what happened last year when Indiana got cakewalked and SMU got cakewalked out there. They were so out of place. Obviously, it's cold out there in Pennsylvania, so that's another reason. But they was just
Go
out
right.
of place anyway. But I wanted to see because obviously, if one of these teams get blew out, because we can't really penalize the G5 because they play in a conference unlike Notre Dame. But but if any of these teams, don't want these teams to get blew out, it's like, man, see, that could have been us. That could have been us. Like, and so I want a lot of these games to be like some fighting games, even amongst the two G5 teams playing against Oregon and Ole Miss. Like, you know what I'm saying? I do want to see some close competition in the first round. I mean, obviously, we probably going to get that with A&M in Miami and then Bama and Oklahoma because, like I said, Alabama was a fourth down conversion away from possibly icing that game away and possibly having to depend on our kicker to kick the field goal. Who's came on as of late? Shout out to Talty and Iron Bro. He didn't. I thought he was gonna have to walk us off, but he still made two big field goals in that game. So shout out to Talty. But yeah, you do want to see close because these teams that get snubbed, and it's funny when Bama play in a conference championship game and get penalized. You still know they don't deserve it. Bama is some of these teams on the outside looking in like last year. You don't deserve it. You lost to Vandy on the road. You lost to Oklahoma 24-3. And as I alluded to earlier in the show, Texas is Alabama's is Texas is this year is Alabama last year. You lost to Florida on the road. Bad, embarrassing. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, embarrassing. You went to Georgia. Alabama went to Oklahoma, got embarrassed. So it's just like, yeah. So like, stop crying. Like Notre Dame, like I said, Notre Dame's not in the conference, but I understand why because when it comes to splitting TV money, all these schools split the money. Notre Dame has that NBC contract. They get that to themselves. But this is the consequence you face. So is it worth? You think is it worth sacrificing a few dollars to go to a conference to still get this to still get some money? Because you get paid. You're getting paid to play in these playoff games. That's why they want you. That's why they want these bigger branded teams in the playoffs. So you get paid. You get a payout to play in the Peach Bowl, to play in the Sugar
How
Bowl, and all them
how
games.
how how long Notre Dame been playing college football?
Notre Dame has been around since I don't know how long, honestly.
They've been playing a long time, right?
Yes, sir. They
So
got
they
like
should
I want to say they got like
they
nine
should have
championships.
enough money now. They should have some money. So now you know you got the money, so you don't join a conference. If you want to be in the
And then
conversation,
the one
join a
year,
conference.
yeah, the
Then
one year they joined the
who
conference. They
say
joined the
if
ACC in
you
the
join a
COVID year.
conference, might get more money.
Yeah, they joined the conference in the COVID year. Because they rotate ACC teams out their schedule. That's how you can fight. You lose you lose to Miami and A&M to open the week, but then you finish you playing Syracuse and NCC States and teams like that the rest of the way. Like you don't really give yourself a shot. You beat Stanford. Like come on, bro. We
You
lost to
don't get
Florida
no
State.
shot.
Stanford beat Florida State, but it's just like it is tomato tomato. It is what it is. It happens. It's football. So it's just like, but it's just like you don't really, now teams like
Florida
now
State
we're not
been
gonna.
they've been practicing for Bama for the past 2 years.
Yeah,
Of
they
course they
they
gonna
had
win.
that game circled ever since they got snubbed out of the
They
playoffs
had
two
they
years
had a
ago. So
period for every practice they had a period for Alabama, and they
yeah.
finally got the advantage.
Now,
And they beat Alabama.
had that been
So
BYU and Notre Dame's, that's a good question too. This is a good question. Had BYU lost, let's say BYU lost 24-17, 27-20 or something like that, do you think BYU would have made it in? You still lost to the same team twice, but do you think do you see
yeah,
a possibility for
yeah,
them to be in the playoff compared to
they
what
would have been
happened to
in
Bama yesterday?
because now yeah instead of losing by 20, you only lost by 14. So you have shown improvement from the last game. Yeah,
Hmm.
you still yeah they would have been in, and I still think they should have been in
And
over
then the
Miami
crazy
anyway.
part
If
about it,
we
the crazy
now
part
punishing
about
for
it
the championship.
Yeah, like Alabama was like when they showed it early in the game, Alabama was a 96%. It didn't say with win. It just said 96% chance to make the playoff. It didn't even say with win. It just said so Alabama was pretty much a lock from the jump. Alabama didn't help their case. Now had Alabama gone out here and lost 28-21 or something like that, then obviously like you wouldn't be hearing talking about that third loss. Like, come on now, let's be real. Then a lot of people out here
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call out the term and say it. I guess you could say I'm gaslighting or manipulating. There's a lot of people out here playing stupid as to why like Alabama made it into the playoff. As that they didn't forget that Alabama beat Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee all in a row. Before the playoff rankings were a thing, we were still living off the AP poll and the coaches poll. I guess
And
they forget that didn't
LSU,
happen. To beat LSU, what they ranked at the time though?
LSU was
Like so it's
ranked
just
too.
like we don't
They were ranked at the
we
time.
gloss over
They was
that.
like 18.
We gloss over that. Like y'all coming with these silly
Then
arguments,
you
but
beat an
then
Auburn, who
I mean, but the Iron Bowl is the Iron Bowl.
you
Like,
also they
see,
also beat Auburn, who could potentially been, but Auburn could potentially been both eligible though. So
I mean, but the thing about Auburn, they lost a
and you beat
lot
a
of
South
games.
Carolina team
Auburn,
that went up Texas
but the
A&M.
thing with Auburn
Lost
is
game by
actually
7 points.
the referees calling calls in their favor from probably being a 8-win team, 9-win team, possibly, because the Georgia game, the
Yeah,
A&M
because
game,
every
and the
game they literally
Oklahoma
lost
game.
was by 7.
Yeah, so like they weren't losing. They weren't out here just getting ran off the field.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
literally
So, and then like I
Auburn
said, the
could
Iron Bowl
literally
is the
be in
Iron
this
Bowl.
conversation if they had a
Yeah,
one game. Yeah,
yeah.
they could very well be in the conversation if they won some games, at
I'm
least
looking at it
almost,
now.
because they literally didn't have a game where they got blown out. I don't think.
Yeah, nah. They worst loss is Kentucky. Like you lose to Kentucky, you only score 3 points to Kentucky. Like, come on, bro. I mean, Kentucky played Texas tough, but Texas ain't scored. Texas ain't go out there and not Texas scored 17 points if I'm not mistaken. So like that's what, and then they just fired their coach
Now,
after the
in
season,
all
obviously.
retrospect, they now Auburn did beat Georgia. Every time they got a timeout,
Well, I know that. Well,
he was clapping, brother.
apparently
He
said he
got
was clapping because no,
timeout.
a lot of teams do that. Like the defense, they be clapping, and you're supposed to be able to delay a game penalty behind that.
That man
Oh
did
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Then when he seen it, he did that.
yeah. So yeah, Kirby slick, and then
Yeah,
that
they
that
literally
Jackson.
lost. Yeah, they worst loss was Georgia by 10 points.
Yeah, so like I said, they like
So they
really could
literally
be,
the only double digit loss they had was to Georgia.
and it was 20-10, and
Which
that was a
again,
late
game they
field. That was
possibly
just a late field goal. You know what I'm saying? They just kicked the field goal to
That's a late
insurance.
field goal.
Yeah, that's just insurance. Okay, now we got a double digit lead, so we just need to just play defense. But yeah, man, it's just like what I'm saying. But it's just like y'all gloss over the fact.
Auburn has an offense, they could very well be a two-loss team.
Yeah, that and
Yeah,
catch passes.
they could have been
Yeah,
very well a two-loss team.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like it's just
penalties too.
But I know I talk about Lambeau Beck, but Marcel Reed needs to have a bounce back game too because he had an ugly showing versus Texas.
Yeah,
So like this could be a battle of which quarterback turns the ball over less. Because Miami does have a Mario Cristobal and them guys. They rough and tough. Like the two games that they lost, they were not shootouts by any mean. They were like those two games were in the 20s. So like Dave Elko, or not Dave Elko, but Mike Elko has a pretty good defense at A&M, or maybe it's just the competition that they were playing and it made them look good. I don't know, but I'll take the latter on that. So it's just like so like, but like going back to Miami and A&M, this is gonna be one to watch. So
that's gonna be good. And they play early.
yeah. So this is somebody said they didn't move Bama because they didn't punish them for playing in the conference championship game that nobody would ever want to play in one ever again. It makes sense.
They punished BYU.
I mean, but like I said, BYU lost to the same team twice, and they didn't score more than 7 points twice. So it makes it say stuff like that makes it easier. And also, we ain't even talk about this. We ain't even talk about Duke basically opened up a path too, because a 5-win team in the playoff, like they weren't gonna let that happen. So that's why it made way for another G5 team. So Duke opened up the door for a lot of this. Because had Virginia,
if you gonna do that, you might want to let them do that.
Because had Virginia win, they get a spot, and then after that, it would have came down to Notre Dame, Miami, and Bama, and we already see what the committee did today. Choosing Miami and Alabama, but still, you would have just had those three teams with Virginia getting an automatic bid. So yeah, and it still came down to them same three teams anyway. But so it seems like the committee kind of was already seemed like if the committee did it like this, it seemed like they pretty much already had their mind made. If we're being 100% honest,
yeah, they had their mind made.
Yeah, they definitely had their mind.
But it surprised me to see Bama I thought Bama was gonna drop.
Yeah. I really because I know when we was waiting, I was like Bama either going to A&M, Ole Miss, or Oklahoma, one of them three, and then bam, Oklahoma. I was like, well, there it is. So I wish they would give Austin or Keelan Russell the ball. Ty is clearly physically injured mentally. I think these deep, but we are what we are as far as the run game, as far as the quarterback situation. You don't want to put Keelan Russell in the fire as a freshman because this is high stakes football now. You don't want to throw him in the fire right now. Austin Mack, I don't know. Not really too sold on Mack. Great, probably got high upside because he is NFL. He does have the NFL stature. Now go ahead.
You can put any of them back. Yeah, the line ain't blocking. They can't do nothing.
Yeah, they you getting too much pressure.
You can put anybody back.
Dropping.
The line is not blocking.
Either they getting a lot of pressure, they getting pressure, Ty getting pressure, or they dropping everybody back, and there's nowhere to throw the ball. Even if you check it down underneath, it's still not getting that many yards. So it's just at this. So it's at this point, what do we have to lose? Give them a shot. I mean, we can't if we can't block nobody, we can't get a chance to get a deep ball out. So there's that. Like it's a lot of stuff that's
You
time based. So I
know,
still
you got
you turned out. You said what?
they're gonna get a deep
Yeah, no, not facing
shot.
because obviously if because let some of these let them come out here you know playing to stop the run, which they not because it's a different day and age now. Like let them go out here single safety cover one and cover three. It'll be a whole different. But
Yeah.
this guy's saying quarters like a cover four, a mixture, a combination of a cover six, cover nine. I'm pretty sure that's what they seeing. That's what Ty's seeing out here. So it's a different ball game when the team is playing two high safeties against you. Ty probably got folded up in the Iron Bowl when we was killing the running the clock out. So I can kind of understand if he is dealing with back issues. Cause like in a situation like that, why are we running our quarterback to run the clock out?
He probably yeah. If I'm playing against Bama,
Yo, son, you keep cutting in and out, man. What?
I
Only what you say?
coordinator,
You still going in and out, man.
I ain't say reconnect.
I don't know what's wrong with you, man. You need to sound.
If I'm a,
You on here like Ocho, man. You Chad, you Ocho right now, man. You say what? You say what though? You might need to take your AirPods out or something, man. Hold up. Technical difficulties. I'm about to cut my camera off. Okay, I'm back. I got put backstage on my own show. Hold on. Yep. First of all, hold up. I gotta. You good?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course they're not gonna let him throw it deep. Hell no! Look what you got outside.
Yeah, you don't really have a.
I'm gonna let your ass get these 5 yards. You gonna have to beat. You gonna have to have them 8 minute drive. I'm gonna let
Yeah,
you go deep and what you got? Hell no.
yeah. So you got. Yeah, that's why they play. That's why they plan for. They plan for that. They know. Yeah, it ain't like the Jalen Milroe days where we just finna stack this box.
Now what I would like to see is them attack the middle because if you got Williams and Brooks in the middle and they 1-on-1 with the safety, they gonna win then. So
Oh yeah, something like that. But it's just
gotta
A,
have
can we
time.
get it there? A, yeah, it's three things that need to go. A, can we get good blocking? B, can we get the ball? Can we get the ball placed where we at least get the receiver a chance? And C, can we catch the ball? Because drops will also be an issue as well.
And
So
here's another thing. Now that I thought about it, with these short fourth downs, why did they use the prop? Now I think it's for the try it. Who gonna stop him at 370 some pounds?
see, but that's a lot of weight to move for one person, even for a yard. That's still a lot
If he
of
fall forward, he gonna get that falling forward. Trust me. I mean, what
yeah.
you ain't got to run. Give it to him. He fought what 3 for 3 if I ain't mistaken. You
Yeah,
did,
because
but
I
you
know he
come
got
out
that
with
one
that.
versus Vanderbilt.
Give him the ball here, let him jump. Who is finna tackle 370 pounds?
Yeah,
And
but
he like what 6'5", 6'4"?
somewhere around there. I want to say six
Trust
six
me, you
maybe.
ain't let him get up on the center height. You ain't stopping that.
But it's the thing too, though. We was in a situation yesterday where Ryan Grubb couldn't even get cute. You know what I'm saying? See, it's different when you got a lead and you can quote unquote do a little bit of that front running, but when you when
That
you
man
down,
got cute when he threw with a boy threw the ball to Bernard and he threw it across the field. I said, "What is he doing?"
yeah. So
And he caught it.
yeah, you can't do stuff like that now when you out here losing. You can't sustain no type of drive. So it's just like yeah, we all that
And then
cuteness go out the window.
it just seemed like with the run game, they always attack the middle. They never attack the outside. Run
Yeah,
outside.
we'll never do no stretch plays, no outside zone, toss sweets and all that tosses. That don't work no more. But yeah, little outside zone stuff like that, that'll work.
It may
But
not work, but guess what? The more you with a D lineman don't like moving side to side.
no, they don't.
So
Especially
you
the big
stretch
ones.
them, make them run side to side. You gonna tire them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might not get them 10 to 12, 15, 20 plus games in the first two quarters, but guess what? If you keep doing it, eventually, once you want to run it up the middle, guess what? They tired, not running. You got to tire the defense out. For
Yeah. So
example, you had Miro. You already know Kirby defense killer here is stopping everything go outside. He can't stop
oh yeah,
nothing
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah,
outside.
yeah, yeah. You can't. And then
You
especially
can't
like
you can never attack Kirby up the middle. That's what his defense is designed to stop. So if you
yeah.
attack the edge, that you gotta do.
No, it's been some games where Curry done gave up that middle now. I think what in that
Yeah,
SEC championship game versus Texas last year, that
yeah.
middle Texas was eating off that. Texas was eating out that middle. So Kirby will get, but yeah, like we definitely was supposed to attack that perimeter yesterday with like the
Uh,
bubble screens and all that stuff. Like I say, even if them plays only getting 5-6 yards, it's still
and
favorable
yeah, you
downs.
get let's get a ball to your player.
You know what I'm saying?
You want a 7-on-7, just give him back and drop back.
Yeah, like no 3-step drops. I don't see no slants. So there are many things going wrong with this team. I really don't know. If there's a good answer. Hey, we in the turn. But I'm gonna my home and roll tide. Of course, they're not championship
They gonna
material this year.
they
But
gonna
hey,
they gonna figure it out once
it's
they
just
start
like
playing folks outside the
like I said, it's
SEC.
the tournament, man. Everybody's 0-0. All you need is a chance, and all you got to do is be one of the teams that get hot at the right time. You don't want to limp into the postseason because even in the
Yeah.
NFL, you limp into a postseason, you might get sent home early. But just give yourself a chance and go from there. But like this is an interesting. I want to hear your answer on this. Pretty sure I think I know it. Rhetorical question. But did the committee get it right
Far as with them,
as far
but just the whole
as
bracket.
the whole 12 team?
No, because BYU should still be in. Granted, they lost to Texas Tech twice, but they clearly said you can't be punished for your championship. Bama lost
So
by 21, had
we
-3 yards. BYU lost to the same team twice, which is ranked in the top 10. If BYU should be out, and I'm a Bama fan, Bama should be out too.
so you think BYU should have at least got one of those G5 spots?
Yeah, because again, you can't punish them for playing in the championship. That's what they said. But
I'm
when
not
it
gonna
comes to
lie,
Bama,
like
oh
you know what
nah,
I'm saying.
Bama, you good. Nah, BYU, you lost. Nah, we can't let y'all in. And that was a quality loss to a top five team. That's what
Well,
both of their losses came from.
yeah, but I will say I think BYU versus Oregon or BYU. Well, I'm gonna give props to Tulane. Look at the bot. We got bots in the chat now. I'm gonna give props to Tulane because the one game they lost was only to Ole Miss. James Madison, I don't think they had any significant wins, obviously. Uh, and then we seen Tulane, they beat USC in a Cotton Bowl a few years back. All right, cool. But
They should have
I
them
think
straight
yeah,
in. That's close.
BYU would have made for a better matchup, obviously, versus James Madison
Yeah,
or
BYU
Ole
would have
Miss.
been. Yeah, that's my only thing. You left Bama in, but they played in the championship too and lost. You
But
should
see,
have
like I'm
kept them
saying, the
in.
argument for Bama is this is the same team that they beat to end a 33 game home win streak. So that's only Alabama's saving grace. That and on top of
That
the
ain't the
the
same
string
team they play.
the the
That's a
string the
better team they
the string
play.
but the string but you still went into Athens, Georgia at night.
Yeah, that yeah.
93,000 and beat Georgia on their home field. In a
Yeah.
string of ranked teams you played consecutively, Alabama just got overall the resume. The Florida State loss, hey man, it's water under the bridge. It happened. You hate to see it go down the way it did, but
Man,
it
Florida
gave
State was passing for Bama the past 3 years. Of course,
yeah.
Florida
So
State was gonna win.
it's just like a you know a nice
Yeah,
kick in the
BYU should have
ass.
been in. BYU should have been in.
Yeah, so I
But
can
you
agree. But like I said, if
can't
oh
be
yeah,
hypocritical.
most definitely. But I will say this
As far
is
as the
just
other ones, yeah, they got it right.
like leaving Notre Dame out and all that. Vandy, like I said, Vandy
Come on,
only
man.
lost
Who
lose.
Notre Dame? Who? Come on, man. For real.
They beat
No.
Pitt.
Yeah.
They beat USC. They
Who
beat
is that?
yeah.
Who the hell
So
is
that's what I'm
that?
saying. That's what I'm saying. Vanderbilt, they lost to Texas, who's 13th, and Alabama, who's 9th. Them the only two teams that they lost to. Everybody
I ain't gonna
else,
lie. As
they
much as
beat.
I don't like Vanderbilt,
You
they
gotta
yeah
let that
they.
go. When
I'd
you
rather
eventually
them
have to
have been
let that go
in.
though.
I'd rather them been in than Miami. If we being real,
Like I said, you need to let that go, man. That's almost 20 years ago, man.
I'd rather them be in
Let that go, man. No, you
instead of
know what I'm talking
Miami.
about, man. You know what I'm talking
I
about with
know.
that Vanderbilt situation. Let that go, man. It's okay, man. It's all right, man. Let it out, man. No, let me stop,
Yeah,
man.
I'd rather them be in Miami. If we being real, if you gonna
You talking
punish
about?
you, like, yeah, cause they lost to who?
What we talking about?
Texas and
BYU only
Bama.
lost to BYU lost to Texas Tech.
Vanderbilt. You know
BYU
what I'm
lost to
saying?
Texas.
I'm
Oh
saying
BYU
Vanderbilt,
lost to Texas. Yeah, Vanderbilt only lost to Texas and Bama.
and they rank. So
But
I'd rather them be in.
But it's just like whether they. It's all about. Like I said, a lot of this. I don't want to really cuss. A lot of this is metric based. Like
They need
what are
that
Notre
computer
Dame's
do it again.
metrics? Yeah, what are Notre Dame's metrics? That's why not Notre Dame. We know what their metrics are because it's been plastered over the TV for the last 2 3 weeks. What are Vanderbilt's metrics?
What you mean?
The,
They lost the
as far
two
as
of the best teams.
stricter schedule, stricter record, like the FP, all that advanced analytical stuff that nobody really cares until
Well,
it's Alabama on the cusp
you
of
also got
maybe
you
making the
also got
playoffs
to
or
think
possibly not making the playoffs.
you also
Yeah,
got to think about it too. Vanderbilt ain't really been on top, and now that they went on the road, beat Tennessee by 3, and they only lost to Bama and Texas, who is ranked
no, they
and
beat
pretty
Tennessee by
much.
3 touchdowns. That's what you meant to
Yeah, that's
say.
what I'm saying. They beat them by 3, and them they only 2 losses, and they beat everybody else in the SEC. If you gonna do the SEC bias, then you gonna leave Bama in. Ideally, Vanderbilt should have been in there. Now, granted, Texas beat Texas A&M.
No, Vandy did not play neither of those 3 teams. Every schedule
Who
that was
Texas?
played this year was the same schedule as last year. As far as the SEC teams, all SEC teams
So,
basically played the same schedule as last year in
so in
reverse.
reality, if Vanderbilt had to play at least one of, let's just say Texas A&M, and they beat Texas A&M, they'll be in.
Most definitely.
Now, let's just say Texas didn't beat Texas A&M, but Vanderbilt did, but Vanderbilt still had those 2 losses, but they be in.
So that situation is tricky because that's like the '08 with the Big 12. Texas beats Oklahoma. Texas Tech beats Texas. Oklahoma beats Texas Tech. Oklahoma goes on to play for the national championship. So in that situation, who did you say Vanderbilt beat A&M? Texas beats A&M, but Texas beats Vandy. Okay, if we still keeping
Mm-mm,
Texas,
mm-mm.
oh okay, I
If
was
they
about to say
don't, if they don't play Texas, they play Texas A&M, but still lose to Bama. Yeah, Bama and Texas. Now, granted,
so who are you swapping out? So
Texas
who you
A&M
swapping
is
out?
highly ranked.
Yeah.
Let's just say Ole Miss or yeah, somebody. I'm saying that they beat Texas A&M when they're ranked, but they still lost to Texas and Bama. Would you let them in? Because they beat Texas A&M, they ranked number 4 or 2 or 1, whatever they were.
Texas A&M is well right now they're 7, but yeah, because that you can
That's
argue
the
and say
best.
that's
That's one of the best
probably one of the
wins.
best West wins. Ohio State and Indiana probably. I'm not gonna lie. Slow your roll on Indiana, even Ohio State.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
there's no clear cut We might just be
I ain't gonna-
overreacting a little bit to what happened yesterday. It happens, man. It's football.
That
You're
was a
gonna get your
good.
ass
That was a
kicked.
good game
It's just
though.
gonna get you. You're
Yeah, that
gonna
was a
get your
good
ass
game.
kicked, man. And sometimes you need an ass kicking to remind you, yes, all right,
But
to
the thing
reset
with
yourself. But
but the thing with Indiana is very disciplined. It's hard to
yes.
be a disciplined team that doesn't have as much talent, but they're gonna be who they need to be. That's gonna get you a long way.
And the thing about Indiana, I don't think Indiana smokes Vandy either because the way Vandy plays football, Vandy just needs to get a 10-point lead, and they'll sit on that the rest of the game by keeping the clock in their
Oh yeah.
favor. So it don't matter who Vandy plays. Like you just need to keep them from controlling the clock. You need to make Vandy play from behind that with that situation. So yeah, I'm gonna just pump the brakes on saying Indiana and Ohio State would smoke Bama. Like I don't. And Georgia and Alabama
Who
play
was
some
smoke
place
them? Who
Indiana and
they
Ohio
saying?
State. I'm reading the chat.
No,
Yeah, Georgia and
no,
Alabama play play so much. So I'm tired of that
no,
matchup. It's just like okay, cool. Like
no.
Alabama, Georgia again, yay! And guess what? If they don't meet each other in these playoffs, guess who playing in 2026 in Tuscaloosa?
First of all,
Bama and
like
Georgia.
like I
So
said,
it's
when
like
it comes to Indiana, they ain't seen no speed like Bama and these SEC schools. Yeah, they play Ohio State, but
excuse me.
you looking at just speed overall. Then let's go offensively. Ohio State, granted, they got Smith, they got Tate, and they got another guy. But imagine you got four that can move.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Jam Miller who can move. Then you got Ty who can move.
Jam a little bit
How
stiff,
you gonna guard that?
but yeah,
You cannot guard all that.
yeah.
You not Indiana not guarding it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I feel like Mendoza is gonna win the Heisman.
He gonna win it. Yeah, that's it.
Heisman hangover in 3.
Because
But
whichever team he plays, the SEC speed hit different, man. They'll realize
yeah,
it hit different. And
yeah.
they finna get
So
a rest.
yeah, I think Ty do need to Ty just need to have a come to Jesus, and then like I said, we just need to because it's not all on. I'm not gonna put all of it on Ty because a lot of it can go to. You could chalk some of this up to play calling. You could chalk some of this up to guys not executing the right way. It's a mixture of everything.
Ryan Williams
Yes,
hurt too. You can tell by how he running.
yeah. Ryan Williams, like I said, is always
You
our
can tell
biggest.
how he running. He hurt.
Our receiver, yeah. Julio was hurt his second year. Coop was hurt his second year. It's definitely
And it might be a hamstring. I done
is
pulled mine 4 times. I know.
Jesus
But
Christ, son, you running too hard.
yeah, he's still hurt. I don't care what nobody says. He hurt. Cause you go back and look at it and see how he running. It's like he
Mm-hmm.
wanna open up, but if I open up, I'm afraid I'm gonna be injured. And it looked to me like it's definitely a hamstring. Cause it's like he wanna run, but then it's like, yeah, he still hurt a little bit.
Yeah. So this just
But yeah, everybody in the chat talking about Indiana, Ohio State. They ain't really played nobody, but we in the playoffs now, so we gonna see.
yeah. And like I said, if anything, Ohio State kind of got it a little bit better than Indiana. If we being
Yeah,
honest, I would trust Oklahoma and Alabama to knock off Indiana more than I would trust Miami and A&M to knock off Ohio State. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Georgia do got it. Yeah,
So I'm gonna say it's the latter on as far as the 2 years in a row with the O line. I'm gonna take the latter. I think it's a mixture of both. Need coaches to put players in position. Also need these players to execute at their position. And also, like I said, with the
yeah.
O lineman, you playing that musical chairs with the O lineman. Like one game, we seeing Formby, we seeing Michael Carroll, we seeing Cam Dewberry, we seeing Jaden Roberts, we done seen
Yeah.
Vandermark. Is just the only person that I have
Yeah,
seen that hasn't been taken out is
Proctor.
Proctor. Proctor's the only one who has seen Proctor's the only one who's been on his side and stayed on his side. Like I've seen Brailsford come out sometimes. I didn't see. Of course, we've seen Formby come out a lot of times, and Formby has been the same player since week 2 of last year versus South Carolina, not South Carolina, South Florida when he had all them holding calls.
We,
So it's just
we
like
need one. We need them dogs on
Yeah,
the O line
gotta
like
bring.
Andre
We need a
Smith.
Mario Cristobal type coach to come back to coach the O
Yeah,
line.
we
You
need
need
we need the Andre Smith, the Tyler
yeah,
Bookers,
yeah,
Antoine Caldwell. We need them.
some guys like that. Chance Womack, DJ
Yeah,
Fluker. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Jonah Williams, Pittsburgher. You know, but them days is long gone, man. Like we ain't gonna,
Want to
especially
get
like
pissed off and push the
yeah,
quarterback.
with this type of scheme, like you ain't really finna find no dogs as far as run blocking. These guys just finna be like, okay, these been finna be like some finesse O line. Like this more of a
Now at the
finesse O
same
line.
time, you need some dogs at that running back too.
Yeah, and then also you need some guys that can make plays that don't just depend on blocking from the O line. Like you need some guys that can
Yeah.
actually, okay, if it ain't here, we can cut it back and turn this way and make something out of nothing. Like so, you know what I'm saying? We need plays because a lot of these running backs they go as far as the O line can take them. So
Now speaking of what we need, signing day. I like the class that's coming in.
yeah.
Now the two that I'm looking out for, and you know I'm an offensive guy, Crowell and Morgan.
Oh, so Morgan the receiver, right?
Boy, yes, he reminds me of Dez Bryant when he was at Oklahoma State. His
Big physical,
size,
big physical. Yeah,
big physical, give him the ball, he gonna go up and get it. I would say
yeah.
Julio, but he's not as fast as Julio. He kind of reminds you of Dez Bryant and what is his play.
Yeah.
Crowell, that boy the truth. Whew. Boy just had what 5 touchdowns in the game, 300 some yards.
Oh yeah. But does he fit? Because he seemed like we need a Jameer Gibbs type running back in this offense.
But he has that power, and I think he has a speed too. So he could be a mixture. And to be honest, in that type of offense, you really need that back that's balanced. So power, 4th and 2, 3rd and 2. Okay, we can hand him the ball. He get us 2 yards. Little speed, catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay, he can do something with it. You kind of need that instead of what we got now. You got Miller who can go
They
running,
kind of just
speed.
specialize in just one thing. But you know it's bad
Yeah,
when
they
one of
specialize
your
in
one
one
of your
thing.
credentials is 3-time SEC academic honor roll. That's how you know you ain't did nothing. My bad. I still got the playoff selection. Jordan
He
Rogers.
kind of
But yeah.
yeah. So you getting the back that actually he can do both. So
Yeah, because even
that's
with a
gonna be interesting.
Brian Robinson wasn't no pass catcher, but he turned into one. But
He turned it on.
Brian Robinson was also the type of running back as well too that like these holes needed to open up for him. He ain't really make too many. Like we
Yeah.
need like I said, a Jameer Gibbs, Najee Harris, them type that can get
What?
you 1,000
Brandon
yards
Jason,
rushing and almost 1,000-yard receiving. Brandon Jacobs as
Wiseman,
well. Yeah, bro.
Kenyon Drake type, D
Yeah,
Hen,
yeah.
but both stars
Well,
were.
Darren Henry wasn't really getting off in the
You can put Damian Harris back there.
yeah. Yeah, see,
I'm gonna
Damon
show
Harris
no go
another.
old. I'm gonna show no go old
Don't
school.
say no Sean
Sean
Alexander.
Alexander,
I knew you was for to say it.
Mud Galloway,
They don't
Shard
know nothing
Williams,
about that. They don't know nothing about that. Ken Darby in '05, boy, the
Ken
best running back
Darby,
ever behind Reggie Bush.
Antonio Beard. Oh, I'm just showing. I've been a Bama fan.
Terry Grant, Glenn Coffey,
Darren Grant, Aaron
Roy
Coffey,
Church,
Bud Upchurch. Who else we got?
Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Eddie Lacy.
see, but the things about Eddie Lacy and all them guys, man, everybody, man, that's coming of age, Bama. I guess you could say the rebirth. So,
Yeah.
but all the guys we named before that, man, a lot of people don't know nothing about that, man. You ask somebody about Shaw Williams, they gonna be
I was just letting everybody
I
know
know.
the real Bama.
No, yeah, for sure.
But,
just like as far as the receivers, DJ Hall, Matt Cadell, Keith Brown, like it's a lot of names out there before
Brandon
Julio.
David Palm,
Yeah, before Julio.
Jason McCaffrey, all this. Who else?
So you feel me? So yeah.
What my boy name? AC Carter.
Yeah. So it's a lot of
real Bama fans.
Yeah, it ain't
Real.
You feel me? Shit.
Now
Spencer Pennington, the baseball player.
We take it to the fullback, Dustin McClintock. Yup.
No, my boy LeRon McClain, Tim Castile.
Fowler. Come on, man.
Fowler. Yeah.
I
So
don't
it's
know
just like,
nobody
man,
else.
we
Yeah.
got some guys, man. But like, yeah, we it's gonna be kind of hard to kind of keep these guys, everybody. And then you go to one of these teams. Now you got teams with, like we said, Texas. I almost said Texas A&M, Texas Tech, $25 million roster. Penn State, close to 30 million. Now they willing to go over 30 million to keep themselves competitive as far as spending money. With Matt Campbell from Ohio State, 8-year deal.
Which
So
one?
it's like,
Which
and we
one
seen
of
what
crazy?
what's up.
Is any team in the SEC doing that?
Um,
As far as
I
buying
want to
players,
I want to say I think LSU is probably going to be the one to do it. I know Auburn got money, but Auburn got Auburn got
just
administration issues. Um,
just think if the SEC actually paid to get players.
and then Texas, I forgot
Man,
Texas,
please.
because
Man,
Texas
if
money speaks
if
for
the
itself.
SEC as a whole actually like Bama, Georgia, Auburn, man, come on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of
So the
teams that
so the fact that Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, all the SEC teams still doing it without having to pay players, just imagine if they actually did.
yeah.
Man,
Well, I ain't gonna
okay.
necessarily pay. What you mean by pay? You just mean like breaking the bank, like spending
Yeah,
30
NIL,
million,
yeah.
25,
Actually,
25
actually,
million plus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually using NIL. Man, please.
Yeah. So it's just like, yeah. I'm looking at, they
Yes.
got Alabama resume comparison to Notre Dame, and man, Notre Dame 13th in strength of record, 44th in strength of schedule. Alabama top 10 in both of those. The only argument
Oh
Notre
yeah.
Dame got is Miami, but guess who they lost to? So miss me with that whole like.
Louisville.
And then you know what's funny too though? You know what's I'm talking about Notre Dame. They lost to Miami, but you know what's funny? They like to like they used to try to make fun of Alabama doing that hypothetical who would be favored in this matchup. Notre Dame brought the same thing back out. People was like, yeah, I remember Alabama used to get mocked and mimicked for doing that. Now y'all pulling out the same old tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess it ain't the fun when the
It
rabbit
just
got the
goes to
gun.
show. It just goes to show Bama still hold a little bit of weight in this
Yeah,
little time.
yeah,
That weight. Hey, come on now, Bama.
yeah. We ain't really got compared to them teams. Yeah, we really ain't got the. We just got we gotta sell. We selling the brand still. The brand is still the brand. So that's
Got a
pretty
branch
much
there, Brian.
that's all that is. You know,
But we
the money
bad.
can't really
Lucky.
talk. That's why you got to get back to getting some of these big games because we get like I said you get money from that. Yeah, Texas Tech is a surprise. I know they got that softball, that picture, the $1 million arm in softball, and then the football team just next day and then you also got Pat Mahomes backing them, so that helps. So
It ain't gonna help when they play water. In my opinion.
it's not, but hey, but yeah, it's gonna get regular. It's gonna get a cap on how much you can spend, man. Unless I don't think they adopt a salary cap, because then you basically gonna turn this into pro sports for real. You don't want to really adopt no
It's
salary cap
already
for
pro
that.
sports.
I mean,
Cause
yeah,
I thought the players were supposed to get paid. Like if I got a business, hey, young man, I would like for you to brand our business and we pay you. Hey man, I got 2 million. You come play for it. That ain't NIL.
yeah, that's pretty much that's actually considered tampering.
Yeah, that Alabama, Auburn, Georgia do it. Oh, that ain't right.
Yeah,
What? It's going.
yeah, it's gonna be.
Next. But outside of them getting it wrong with BYU, it's gonna be some interesting games. Some
Yeah, man.
good
Like I
slate of
said.
games actually. So,
Oh man, so like I said, man, it's all 0-0. It's do or die time for real now. You get Alabama seem like they got 9 lives, man. You lost a
they
life
don't need
week one
that
versus
one.
Florida State. You came back, you lost. I mean, granted, you was a conversion away from possibly winning that Oklahoma game. You only lost by 2. So you lost. That's another. Then you got basically a second life by going to Auburn and winning out and getting the SEC championship game, and then now you got another life and you lose. and
This
go
is
on
the
into
real
the
time you do this.
yeah, you go on and just get lose the way you did, and then now you still in the playoffs. Do you think one man could grow up leave after the season? If I'm a betting man, I would bet on Grub to leave because Nick Sheridan actually had better play calls and guys was running wide open. We just didn't
Yeah,
have the quarterback to get the guys the
Kane ain't
ball.
going nowhere.
Yeah, Kane Womack.
Womack
I
he
think
ain't going
Kane is
nowhere.
at least. I give Kane at least one more year, but Ryan Grubb.
I don't
Ryan
see
Grubb
him
need a
going
group of
nowhere
five.
yet.
Ryan Grubb need a group of five coaching job immediately, in my opinion.
Womack
But
Womack ain't leaving.
yeah,
I don't see him leaving no time soon though.
but yeah. So
Cause
that's
now
my
he got
opinion
the
on that.
defense how he wanted. I don't see him leaving.
Now he getting the right player. You know what I'm saying? You starting to get like the
I
people that
don't,
fit what you want to do. You starting to get them in. Yeah,
I don't. But Grub, I can see, I can see him leaving though.
or
I can see
maybe
him leaving in the
yeah.
boy implementing what he wanted in the offense. Cause nobody last year they did have some plays, but
Just couldn't get the guys, and it
had
was evident.
Milrow.
It was evident in the bowl game. They showed the camera angles where you can see guys running open. It's like, bro, this is what we've been talking about all year. Look at all these guys. Look at all these guys running down the field wide open, across the middle of the field wide
He
open.
looking,
You know what I'm
he looking at the coach telling him who to throw it to on the side.
saying? See,
Throw
but
it
it's a
down.
whole
They
different
look,
ball
they
game. Like
covered now.
when you actually got a quarterback that can actually make some throws. Now the defense is gonna scheme against the quarterback that can make the throws versus the quarterback that's
Yeah,
you can't throw.
don't run it.
Yeah, now you basically scheme, and then you going against an NFL level defensive coordinator. Oh, yeah, this is slim pickings for him. This is easy for him. So it's just like, yeah. So hey, man, but
And the other time you got that brother there who run like he stole somebody's car. You ain't gonna catch him. But he go throw it. Well, if
yeah,
he
man.
ever got me, you gonna catch him.
I think they need to.
But nah,
Yeah,
they gonna be all right.
they
They gonna be
should have
all right.
ran it back with Sheridan with Ty Simpson, honestly, because like I said, Sheridan had them guys running. I don't know if it was scheme. Maybe Sheridan probably would have fell victim to the same thing this year, man. The defense is catching on. We never know, but as far as what we saw on tape last year, we seen guys running wide open majority of the time, and the quarterback either didn't make the throw, held the ball too long,
Running
or got
deep
sacked.
too. And they attack
So
the scene.
yeah,
I don't know what did he. I don't know. Man.
yeah. So I mean, it's kind of hard to attack seam routes when they running quarters coverage or even a cover four. That's what cover four and all that designed for. It take all that away. That's why you need a cover three. That's why you want
Yeah, but
teams that line up one
yeah,
safety
but
deep.
it's a
They take. That's why you get killed with plays like that. Yes, sir. Roll
yeah,
Tide.
but guess what? Cover three, cover 3 and 4, the middle of the field open depending on how deep you run the route. You ain't gonna run. You ain't gonna get in that deep on cover 4.
That's another thing
I
too.
know cover 3, hook gonna be open. Cover 4, middle of the field gonna be open.
That's another
You just
thing
gotta get
too.
over the balance.
That's another thing too, though. It's like that one play when they showed the replay, Brooks was open for a little bit, but what Brooks should have did, Brooks should have sat in the soft spot of the
Mm-hmm.
zone. So that's some things too they gotta learn. But see, that's that he's still a freshman, but he gonna know like, hey, sit
He's
down in the
still
zone, don't keep
he
running.
gonna learn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you sit down in the zone versus keep running. Now, man, obviously you gonna keep running, you know what I'm saying, to get open. But in the zone, bro, you find that soft spot in the zone. So that's another thing too that I don't know if Shepard teaching these guys that. You think that's also playing into it? You know, they know Shepard leaving, so it's man. Next, I ain't even gonna ask that question, but
mm. I think it's just to be honest. Some of those they might have adjustments. Well, if we used to call them choice routes, so depending on the number of safeties, if we see 2, we switch our route. If we see 1, we run the other route. Maybe situations where at the last minute, once they start running, those safeties switch. And so it's like, okay, dang, I'm supposed to run this, but I'm seeing this. That could be a possibility that they
yeah,
rotating and switching. 'Cause I know they can when if you're a receiver, you have those choice or option routes, and they switch at that last moment, like, oh, I'm supposed to be at this, but that could be a possibility. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But it goes back if the line can't hold their own, then
Yeah.
defeat the
Yeah, man,
purpose.
it's GG's, man. Yeah. But man, it's pretty much it. Like I said, we pretty much gonna be quiet for a little bit until it's time to till it gets to that week. You know what we do. What we do. It's playoff time, so we gonna be here regardless. Whether Bama make it or not, we gonna be here regardless, doing what we do. Still gonna be the same name of the show. So thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Dre, man. Wish you could have been here for us, but we gonna do our thing next time. But like I said, next week, basically when it's time to do a preview of the matchup. Even though we know who we facing, but the stakes are higher this time. You know what I'm saying? It's all roads lead to Miami, Florida for the national championship. And thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe. Elephant in the Room crew signing off. Roll Tide.